What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. Welcome back to another match reaction. And it's only 4 games left. That's the good news after tonight. That's 14 points out of our last 14 games, which is, I want to say, shocking, but I think that's very clear. I think everybody knows that already. So nothing surprises me. It's already a surprise that we actually got a point out of this game. It's not enough. You needed to win, and it would have been a wrap. Now you're just lingering on, and just hanging around for some reason. And again, no matter who we play, I said it, next week, I think it's Salernitana. There's no given you beat Salernitana. There's no given this team will beat any team at this moment in time. That's just a reality. But we will talk about the game. So before we do that, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and let's go. Okay, so Roma won, Juve won. We needed to win to wrap up top 4, mathematically, basically, and just move on, and move on to, I think, next week's Coppa Italia on Wednesday, and that's about it. But we managed to not beat this Roma team again. A Roma team who played on Thursday in a very intense game against Leverkusen, which they lost. But somehow, some way, for large parts of those games, they looked like the team who had 1 week off, and that has been an issue for us all season. We have a week off, and we run out of bread, and I cannot even explain. I cannot explain how these things happen. Like I just can't. I don't have an explanation anymore. We can say coaching, but it's more than coaching. It's also fitness levels. It's just poor across the board. The way you concede that first goal is just, it's hilarious. And the way you tried to concede a second goal towards the end, you were there were players actively trying to hand Roma that goal. Gatti up top, not good enough. It's just not a good enough player, period. Danilo, stinker at the back, not a good defender, period. It's just what it is. We can, both these players can show passion and grinta and love the club. I don't care. They're not good enough in their position. They're just, and this is against, again, in situations like they create chances for Roma where there are no chances. Like, it's unbelievable, but they manage to create chances for the opposite team where there are absolutely no chances. Like, it's insane, but it's actually happening. Like, it's unbelievable, but it's actually been the case. That being said, you get back into the game, because we started off actually, like, this wasn't the worst game of the season. It wasn't. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't fantastic, but I've seen worse, or we've seen worse. You get that goal. You can see that goal. You get back into it. You come out of that locker room hot, Chiesa extremely unlucky, but you put them under pressure up to the 65 minute. You were on top, in total control, and then it flips again completely. And again, you play like against a team who played on midweek, but they look like they were much, much fitter than you. And it's unbelievable, but it's actually the case, And towards the end, you just got lucky towards the end. And yes, we could have done better, or like we had a few opportunities, but towards the end, it was just comical because it wasn't Roma were bopping us around. They were putting the ball in the box, but all the chances they created was just from back clearances, mistakes at the back, and I'm like, what even is this? And to top it off, I know Chiesa had a little drop off in intensity up from that 65 minute until he got subbed. But if you sub off Chiesa in this game when he was the only player who was gonna win you that game, he was on fire. He was good. Everybody was complaining about Chiesa, and I get it, but he was good, and you sub him off. I'm like, you do not want to win this game. If you want to win the game and you bring in Keane to replace him, you're insane. Like, you're absolutely insane. If you saw Chiesa play today, again, like the Torino game, only this time it was even much better, and you decided to sub him off, you don't want to win that game, because the only way you were going to win that game was Chiesa making something happen. But you decide, no, I'm going to put in Keane. At that moment in time, when that sub was made, I'm like, we're not going to win that game. We're not even going to try to win that game. It's just what it is. see out the point at this moment in time, and that's what we did at the end of the day. It's not good enough. I don't know what we still need for top 4 or top 5. I just think it's a wasted opportunity again, because that Roma team was there to beat today. But we have so many issues besides coaching. I think that's an issue. I think a lot of players are done. Some players do not respond. We do need better players, but everybody knows that no matter who the coach is. Even if Allegri says we need better players, you cannot go into Europe with Gatti and Danilo as your main guys at the back. It's just not going to happen. You cannot go into Europe with Rabiot giving the ball away. You cannot go into Europe with Locatelli in this hot and cold form, in my opinion. You just can't. You cannot go into Europe with Vlahovic having a good game and not a good game. You cannot go into Europe with Alcaraz coming from the bench, basically Keane coming from the bench, Milik, although he scored against Lazio, I know that, but that's not how you're gonna go into Europe or should go into Europe. We are going into Europe like that, as of things stand, but the team needs improvement. But the team also needs fresh ideas, because when you see certain things, it's because when in the first half, when we stepped up on the pitch, put some pressure, we can play. These players can play better than what they have shown all season long. I'm not saying they're going to play champagne football. Nobody's asking that. But better and consistently better throughout the season, they can. We didn't do that. That's the issue. No matter if you get top 4, top 5, and to win the Coppa Italia, there needs to be a change. There absolutely needs to be a change, because we're not going to sign 10 players. That's also not going to happen, So that's just not going to happen. So you need to put some pour some water with the wine, because otherwise it's just not gonna happen. Even today, when I talk about Gatti, I think that should be very obvious that he's not good enough. Period. And even for Danilo, even if you want a bridge gap next season, the following season it's done. You need to move on from certain players if you want to evolve, and that may include players I rate, but I don't care. If you can give me a better option, I'll take anyone. At the end of the day, it's about the club. It's not about Vlahovic. It's not about Chiesa. It's not about Locatelli. It's not about Danilo. It's not about Chesney. If the club gives me a better option, I'm all for it, because I just want to win. No matter who was at the team, I just want to win. If they can win with, I don't know, just name if they can win with one of the weirdest players up top, you're like, who? Him? And we win? I don't care. But we're not. And that's the issue. We're not even close. It's 4 wins. It's 14 points out of 14 games. I don't even know how to describe that anymore. 14 wins out of 14 games is insane. But that's the run we're on. So let me know in the comments what you think of the game. And I will react to it. And then I will see you guys back tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Ciao.